Hello everybody, welcome to Knife Geek. Today for the inaugural video, we'll be taking a look at the ESEE Zancudo. It's a great little utility or everyday carry blade. Just get some of the basics out of the way first. Roughly a 3-inch blade, a little over 3-ounce weight, AUS-8 steel, full flat grind, Stonewash finish, re-integral lock, pocket clip that you can put on tip up or tip down, standard size lanyard hole, flow through construction, and it can be taken apart. Torque size T10 for the pivot screw and torque size T6 for everything else around the knife. Alright, basics out of the way. All the full specs you'll see in the description below. I don't want to waste your time with that. I mean, that's just basic stuff that you can find on the internet. And just whatever. Anyway, let's talk about this blade. The reason I wanted to do this one for my first review, a couple different reasons. First, I'll talk about the deployment. Very little thumb tension. Just flies out of the handle. I was very impressed by that, and here's why. I don't have it on table tonight. It's kind of in quarantine, roughly. Well, not really quarantine. I'm waiting on some thread lock to cure. Anyway, it compares favorably in lockup, which by the way is solid, side to side and front to back. Lockup and deployment it compares favorably to the 940 from Benchmade. I'll let that sink in for a second. Now, this value folder, which you can pick up for in the mid to upper 20s, for the price range, it compares favorably to the Warren Osborne designed 940 from Benchmade. Now, for my viewers who are not well versed in knives, that knife that I just described, the Benchmade 940, it's a very high-end blade that is essentially very well respected for the most part in the knife community. It's a very solid blade. It's very high-end, upscale, however you want to describe it. But I mean, to the knife guys, I mean that is the truth. Its deployment is solid. One caveat though, it deploys that well only in the tip down position. In the tip up position, if you put the pocket clip up here, it's good, but not quite as good. The other reason I wanted to do this blade first was because of the classic blade shape. Knife guys, you already know what I'm talking about. For the non-knife people, I did the lighting in this situation, in this setup, for a reason. I want you to see the shadow. And the reason I'm doing it with the shadow instead of the actual blade is just because of the reflections off the blade, the different grinds on the blade, and I'll explain what I mean in the next few seconds. So, if you look at the silhouette here, the most classic blade shape you can get is very similar to this. This top line here would continue out farther and then come to about here and drop down to meet with the cutting edge. So it starts that curve up here, and it creates what's known as the belly of the knife, that curve. This knife, it starts dropping about right here instead of going all the way out to here. I hope you understand I hope you see what I'm trying to do here. Anyway, so it drops down right there, hence the name drop point. This is a classic traditional drop point blade, as opposed to something like the Mini Griptilian, which is also a drop point blade. This is more modern manufacturing. Now, I'm not saying that this is a really old knife, but it's just an old style. This is more modern manufacturing. If you also look at the silhouette here, it just drops down a lot sooner. There's reasons behind that. This is called a modified drop point or a tactical drop point. It uses less steel, so the knife is lighter, but also has more like puncturing capabilities. The reason let me explain really quick. The reason I wanted to use the shadow instead of the actual blade. You notice on the Mini Griptilian here, there's the flat right here, then like another flat right here. it's just different kinds of grinds. I'll get into grinds later, probably in a future video. I just didn't want those reflections. I mean, you got 3 different surfaces that light can reflect off of on this knife. I didn't want those reflections to get in the way of me trying to explain the blade shape. So anyway, back to the Zancudo. I've already explained the specs, so I'm not going to get off track with that. The handle. I said already, re-integral lock, frame lock. Steel slabs for the frame, and a kind of like a plastic polymer scale. It's not G10, and it offers very mild traction. Nothing too crazy. You won't get a super good grip with this knife, but then again, it's everyday carry. Probably not going to be hacking down the forest with this thing, especially with a frame lock. So one of the things that I'll hit this knife for, though, is the scale. I'll see if I can zoom in. Not zoom in, but kind of. This scale can be pulled back and expose that steel liner. Now, the reason why I'm going to hit the knife for that is because, now I understand that this is a value folder and I'm going to be comparing it to a very high-end blade, but this is the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. It even has fewer screws holding it together than the Zancudo, but there's no screws on the bottom of the handle on either of these blades, but yet it's a scale that is wrapped around a steel liner, as you can see there. You can see the reflection off that liner. You cannot pull that G10 scale back. Now that could be because it's G10 instead of basic plastic. I'm not quite sure, but I just feel that that's not. They could have put some adhesive on the inside of that scale and gotten it to not move like that. I've seen other reviews on this knife where they point that out too, so I'm not the only one that's noticed that. Also, another thing that I'll hit this knife for is the jimping. Zoom in here again. The jimping is subpar. Not only is it not very sharp in and of itself, but this it's just, I think, a design flaw. This minute thumb ramp right here kind of shoves your thumb up and over that jimping, so it's not very effective. While I got the blade zoomed in here, I'm going to show you this beautiful Stonewash finish. Got this these really nice Randall's Venture and Training logo, and the BRK R1. I will say it's an ESEE designed knife, and it's manufactured by the same people that did the Rat Model 1, and it's distributed by BRK Blue Ridge Knives. Knife guys, you already knew that, but just wanted to keep explaining things for everyone else. The Zancudo logo, this mosquito here. Zancudo is Spanish for mosquito. Dual thumb studs, so you can open it ambidextrously. And another thing I like about this blade, I like how they continued the Stonewash finish from the blade onto the pocket clip and onto the right side of the handle here. That's just a really nice design. It's a really nice idea for the design. Sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought there. But yeah, so that's pretty much everything I wanted to say about this knife. It's a great little EDC. The ESEE Zancudo. Thanks for watching Knife Geek. I'll see you next time.